Being overly critical, being pessimistic or nitpicky can be annoying, and it can be utilized to make things better. Encouraging critical discussion and the critiquing of developers and publishers is very important to the gaming sphere. I'm never calling it that again. The thing is we can get so wrapped up in being overly critical that we forget why we play video games. And one of the things I started doing recently, very recently, is striving to have fun. A while back, I made a video about Call of Duty World War II and how I much preferred its hardcore mode versus its core mode. It's usually the other way around for me, but with COD World War II, there's just something about the gunplay that feels off to me in core mode, and it's just not as fun. But in hardcore mode, I get a lot of satisfaction out of just getting one-shot kills with M1 Garands across the map. It's easy, it's fun, it's more simplistic and bare bones. I don't really have to worry about what gun to use because really everything's a 1 to 2 shot kill. Am I saying it's better? No, I'm just saying that's how I found fun in that game. So, think about people that buy Call of Duty just for zombies. Now, I can't relate to that at all. Horde modes, more like board modes, they bore me. Horde modes are probably one of the least interesting things to me. Even Titanfall 2's, which I really liked, just didn't hold my interest for very long. But some people found fun in Call of Duty by buying it for the various Horde modes and zombie iterations. And some of them buy the season pass just for zombies and they barely, if at all, touch the multiplayer stuff. That's crazy to me. They spend $15 a pack or, $50 for 4 zombie maps, but some people find their fun there. So I was playing Ghost Recon Wildlands last night. I wasn't recording, I wish I was, but I was playing with my girlfriend, and I decided that my critiquing about Ghost Recon Wildlands' loadout system, though valid, and I still think it's very valid to point out that being able to change your loadout drastically at any time with no repercussions or penalties is a bit ridiculous, and definitely takes the tactical planning out of a tactical shooter, seeing how tactical just means to plan out an action for success, and so when you don't have to plan out an action, you just have action. But when I was playing Wildlands with my girlfriend, I decided to switch to the M4 and just have it, be all naked, completely naked gun, and I set it to semi-automatic, and I just kind of used it like a run-in-the-mill AR-15 style platform. Nothing really tactical to it, nothing really interesting about it, and I was using it, and I'm sorry I don't have the gameplay for it, but I kind of got into role-playing like this is my only gun and I have to depend on it. And in my video about Wildlands, which I still stand by, I did say I didn't like avoiding the loadout feature because I felt like I was playing pretend. But last night I had so much fun just restricting myself that way that I actually went and bought the $5 vintage weapon pack to get the lever action, the 2 revolvers, and the musket, and then I was playing with that. And that was kind of fun to limit myself to old-timey weapons in a modern shooter. Limiting myself, making things a little bit more difficult and interesting, and kind of role-playing. And then I thought, well, what if every time I load up Wildlands, I just have a different thing that I role-play, instead of taking the game seriously as it is, I kind of make my own fun out of it. Now, there are 2 games I think you can play the wrong way or the right way, and this also led me down this rabbit hole. These 2 games are Fallout 4 and Final Fantasy 15. Starting off with Fallout, if you play Fallout 4 strictly based on the story, and you go mission to mission to mission with occasional exploration, you're playing the game wrong. Fight me on this. Fallout 4 is best when after you regain the sanctuary and you get that all done, you just go out in any direction and you just scavenge and hope to survive. Ignore the story. I don't like the story in Fallout 4. I think the story in Fallout 4 takes away from the game itself, where the real drive behind a Fallout game, a Bethesda RPG, is just to wander in any direction and just get taken on adventures that aren't pivotal to the story. Maybe adventures with no real XP gains at the end, but you just have them because you stumbled upon them. Some people have said that nothing happens in Fallout 4's world, and when I look at their playtime, it's like, yeah, you didn't play it. Like, if you take your time in it and really treat it like a kind of a ruthless open world game, put it on a harder difficulty, it's a very interesting piece of software, sorry. And the same goes for Final Fantasy 15. I could have beaten Final Fantasy 15 in the first 3 days of owning it. but I decided to take 80 hours to beat it, or around 76. Because the game is a road trip of 4 guys that it's a coming of age story. It's a coming of age road trip story about 4 guys in a cool car going throughout this world, and it was so much more fun playing it that way and really taking in the scenery and fishing and killing things and selling things and making a lot of money. And the game has a lot of spontaneous little cutscenes and character interactions that happen if you just enjoy the world itself. Go camping, find the dungeons, find all of the royal weapons. It is way more fun when you treat it like you are on that road trip and there isn't a lot of rush to go through each story mission. So those are 2 games that yes, you could plow through and you wouldn't be wrong for doing so, but I'd certainly judge you. Those are games that are best taken slowly, methodically, and really treat it like an adventure that you can really sink your teeth into for days and days on end. Not every game's like that, and I've actually ruined some games by avoiding the story and going on exploration, and I found myself enjoying the main story missions more. What I'm saying is you have to strive to find fun, even in unlikely places. Even in a game that you boot up and maybe you don't like or you've taken a long break from, maybe you need to play it with friends. Maybe you need to play it a different way or play one of the different modes. Maybe you only want one aspect from the game and that's what you need to focus on. Maybe you need to play the game with your significant other. Maybe it's a great co-op experience. Maybe you're going too slow. Maybe you're going too fast. Maybe the way you're playing is absolutely detrimental to your enjoyment of the game. Video games, unfortunately, are usually talked about as if they're passively absorbed forms of media, and that's not the case. Video games are an experience. Video games are a time investment. We do not all experience things the same way. I mean, hell, movies are forms of entertainment that you passively absorb, and yet we all don't perceive them and enjoy them the same way as the person next to us. So when you take a video game, something that's going to take you more than an hour and a half or 2 hours to complete, and you go in there and you are just fully subject to your own perception and what you find fun and interesting and engaging, that's what you have to deal with. You're not watching someone else's perspective. You are using your own to experience something. I think I might have messed something up in there, but hopefully you see my point. This is interactive software, and when it comes to interactions, it has to be personal. So I recommend if there's a game you don't like or have taken a break from, or you didn't enjoy playing recently, maybe go back to it. Maybe it's not a piece of shit. Maybe gaming isn't terrible and the community isn't a cesspool. Maybe people aren't awful, toxic assholes. Maybe you need to play it with someone. Play it differently. Play something else. Find what you want, pinpoint it, and hit that target every time for maximum enjoyment. So this has been How to Enjoy Your Life with the One Boom. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead, like, and subscribe. It's just a gameplay commentary, so I don't expect any donations or flowers being thrown at my doorstep, but I do appreciate a like and a positive comment, or at least some constructive criticism. Don't criticize me too much, because this video is as good as it's gonna get, fuckers. See you when I see ya. Love you guys. Goodbye.